Hey everyone, welcome to the Happy Flosser podcast. My name is Billie Lunt. I am your host, and I am here to talk to you about all things dental hygiene, really just to support you on your journey through the dental hygiene program. And I'm really excited about today because in today's episode, we're having a Helpisode, and Dr. Tonya Jefferies has joined me. The stars have aligned to pull her towards my listeners because I have to tell you guys, I was really excited when I met Dr. Jeffries because she literally is checking all the boxes of all the things I'm passionate about that helps students. So, without further ado, Dr. Jeffries, please share all of your love and passion. Tell us a little bit about yourself for the students.
Well, hello, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you, Billy, for having me. And I think you're right. The stars has definitely aligned. I think when we first spoke, it felt like had known you for a while now. And so, I mean, we just shared so many things that we're passionate about for our students. But for myself, again, you've mentioned my name, Dr. Tonya Jefferies. You can just refer to me as Tonya. I like to feel comfy in my own, space and in your space. But I am an educator. I've been a program director for many years. I've been in academia for more than a decade. I've been in hygiene for about 20 years. And between teaching, mentoring, speaking, I'm the author of, a book that we'll get into conversation about here later, but just really passionate about being on the forefront for our students, for our industry, and really advocating for healthcare. So in all communities. So that's what I'm passionate about. I think it kind of goes into so many different areas of dental hygiene, but definitely stays and encompasses the industry.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it doesn't matter how much time goes by when we are finished with dental hygiene school, it stays with us. It that time in dental hygiene school stays with us. Why do you think that is?
Well, okay, so here's my personal one with that one, Billy. I think for me, after taking that board exam and all of the licensure requirements that we have to take, I think I'm going to be just until I'm like 100. I always joke like I'm never letting my license fail because I really but in all seriousness, I think that we don't get into it realizing how passionate we become. The work really is hard work. We really are doing comprehensive care when we are chairside alongside our patients. And while it seems like we were just there, sort of cleaning teeth, we're doing a lot of assessment. We're doing mental assessment for the patients. We're putting together some of those diagnoses that we've learned about and really implementing within our chair. We really want the best for our patients. And I think what happens is many of us are type A, and so we really do care about giving pure oral health care, strong, comprehensive oral health care to our patients. So we want that in all communities. And when
Yeah.
we see it lacking, when we find those gaps, type A, we want to fill those gaps. And I think that's what brought you here. That's what brought up me here. And, many of our students and our seasoned hygienists, and why they stay, they really do want to fill the gaps and make this industry a great professional industry.
Yeah, and well said. And I will say I learned so much more about myself and what I was capable of by going through dental hygiene school. And I remember having to do those observation hours, and the hygienist just made everything look effortless and so easy. And then when I got in school, I was like, what is happening? Everything was so hard to, and I knew it wasn't just me. I'm not like, okay, I'm way behind. What is the skill development that I can't seem to grasp? I felt like I learned so much more about who I was and what I was capable of through that journey, through the educational journey through school.
Oh, absolutely. I don't recall what I shared this with you, but certainly when we come into dental hygiene school, we are one person. And particularly if you're going through like a 2-year program, even a 4-year program, you are absolutely graduating as someone different. We
Mm.
say that our cells are constantly changing and falling off and multiplying, and we're someone different 10 years, 20 years down the road. But with dental hygiene school, it's the same thing. Your mental tenacity, your passion, your emotion, your priorities, your journey, all of that has shaped you to become a different person after this experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think what I'm so excited about that you've developed is you've somehow, and probably from your exposure of being a leader in your field and around dental hygiene students, you have come up with this amazing tool for students that I really am so, it's like, oh, I can't wait any longer. I want to talk about it. So, can you share with our audience what you have developed?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to give you a little bit of backdrop before I get
Okay.
into it. So well, I'll just give you the title. So the book itself is The Dental Hygiene Hack. And really the title just says exactly what it is. We're talking about untold secrets. We're talking about must-have apps and essential strategies for success in hygiene school. And really the book does unfold all of those things and it wraps it around my journey and unique experiences that are applicable to students and their journeys. But I don't feel like I really wrote the book myself. I really do feel like my students and faculty and all of the research behind developing the book really wrote the book. It carried the book, and I'll share that with you. So as a program director, I had access to my students in different intervals in their curriculum. So whether they were coming in as new students or in the middle of their journey, or maybe about to graduate, I would host these little sort of Vegas meetings, if you will, right? Where I really wanted students to give me honest, transparent feedback. But of course, I'm the program director, and I'm sure that would not have come easy for students to feel like, oh, maybe this will backfire. So what we would do is that we'd log on to Zoom meetings. I'd have them turn their cameras off and they'd rename themselves as a cartoon character. So just to lighten the mood, I'd have conversations with Snoopy, with Charlie Brown, or the Jetsons, or Mickey Mouse, but they were able to respond because I had no idea where the response was coming from. And when I tell you, I think I gained some valuable insight. And I really wanted truth. I wanted truth. It wasn't an opportunity to, slam a faculty or slam this. It was really to say, hey, this wasn't working for me. Or if I had this when I first came in, it would have been better. Or if I'd known that, it would have been better. And we're talking about anything from the application process to preparation and funding. There are students who had gone through the program, excellent students, but could not financially sustain, the commitment of going to the program. And I reached out to discover resources, alternative resources to hold them and keep them. So and even the association, like they had no idea that they were going to be a part of an association, and what does that all mean? Or maybe different avenues. Is it just clinical? Can I go into forensics having this degree? Or I already have a bachelor's and this is my second career. So there was a lot of great feedback that was discovered in those conversations. And what I loved about it is my first years, or the first semester, their feedback was so honest, and to hear the changes in their responses come time for graduation, which again speaks to the notion that we really do change and we discover ourselves and we are different human beings. I think we discover a sort of empathy for community, for relationships, for I want to say sisterhood, but it's not just sisterhood. It's sisterhood. It's brotherhood. It's all of that I think are gained. I have students now who have graduated years later, and I see their social media and that cohort all posting together how they're sharing now, and they've had babies and marriages, and that was a very scenic route to really what I've discovered. But that's really what gained attention to say, hey, listen, I want students to come in to be prepared for this program, and it's an industry that's going to give them just a very um, a flavorful or valuable life, lucrative life, meaningful. And this is the preparation. This is the blueprint to getting from A to Z.
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, did you have something else to add?
I wanted to add one of the biggest challenges that um, I noticed that our students were having was clinical. Students were failing out of hygiene school because they were not meeting simple clinical requirements. And we all know those requirements, right? They're sort of established, not sort of, but they're established by CODA. We want to make sure that we are presenting a comprehensive curriculum based on CODA standards, which really are the golden standards for dental hygiene program, right? They're
Yeah.
accredited bodies, right? So we really want to have those implemented within our curriculum, but I've taught so many students who struggle, whether it was not completing all of their calculus classification requirements or missing that radiograph requirement or just not successful in their comps. I wanted a way to standardize listening from that conversation, having conversations with my faculty. I wanted a way to standardize the way in which we deliver, monitor, measure, and students experience their learning within clinical education within dental hygiene. And so I created the first and only dental hygiene mobile app. And what this app does is simply at the fingertips of all of our students' hands, right? This is where students are. This is where the world is right now, right? Everything is at our fingertips. Everything is within our hands, right? And so this app, you're able to just download it from the App Store or either from Google Play. And what it does is it captures every single patient that you bring in for your clinical requirements. It's going to organize those patients in a well-organized spreadsheet. It's going to let you know, send you notifications when you've missed a comp or if time is running through the semester where you're falling behind on things. But conversely, it also sends you notifications where you're doing a great job. Like, hey, you rock today. You got through that comp, you got 100%, and keep going. And it's going to show you where your percentages are on it in daily basis, right? In live time. So in real life time, it's going to keep track and help to monitor you so that when you get through your clinical requirements, there should be no question whether or not you've completed that course and established all that you're supposed to establish for the meeting the criteria for your clinical requirements in any dental hygiene program. So programs are loving it. I'm hoping to really see this thing take its root across the country. You're able to use it in any dental hygiene program, be it 4-year program, 2-year program across the country. And it really does standardize and speaks to CODA requirements. So yeah.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Because I'll tell you, and being a program director, this students sometimes really struggle putting their plan for success together or organizing. And I think clinic is a great example to have that discussion where, oh my gosh, here's all my requirements and here's all my patients. How do I put those two things together so that I can be successful and not lose my mind over, because it's time crunch too. They only have a certain amount of time and they have a certain amount of patience, so they have to be very strategic. So to have that, accessory as like a little tool in your toolbox right on your phone to really help guide you into your plan for successful completion of clinicals that's amazing. I love that.
It really is. It's one of the things that this is where I've given this to students who are about to graduate, and they would say, I wish I had this when I started.
Yeah.
And it's funny because those who are just beginning, they don't realize the value until like maybe their second, maybe third semester where they're like, oh, I really need that. Like, oh, I'm downloading it. But it's very essential. But it's funny because administrators see it right away.
Yeah.
I mean, they look at it like finally something that is. I mean, when I sit down with students and they're requesting to get a patient, of this caliber or that caliber, or do they need someone in geriatrics category, or do they need an adult, or do they need pediatric? I'm trying to meet those things, and their paperwork is it's all over the place, and everyone's different from one student to the next. This just helps to really, like I said, standardize, make everything on the same playing field, and really help to organize the students throughout their journey.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is great.
yeah.
And the other thing that I like that you stated was when they're having a good day, they get a little compliment because sometimes students, I think they're just super hard on themselves. And to know that, sometimes they can utilize that positive feedback from the app. I think that's valuable too, because sometimes even if we do 10 things right and we do one thing wrong, we're going to remember that one thing that we did wrong when we leave clinic and maybe not feel like we were as adequate. And then when the app tells us, hey, look at all you accomplished today, sometimes that might be the boost we need.
Yeah, and it's funny when I thought about that, I sort of thought when in creating the app, I thought about, that the iWatch where, like it tries to motivate you to walk if you're sitting for too long.
Yes.
And I thought about how if I'm sitting for too long and then when I see those circles or those rings close, how the rewarding that kind of felt to me, like, just secretly, like I closed my rings just now. Like I got up and I took a walk, or I mean, and it was an accomplishment for me. It felt like good. So that's sort of something that made me think, I think it's just as important for our students to know that they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
And I think as a lifelong learner, I don't ever want to forget the years that, I mean, I don't ever want to do it again, but I definitely don't want to forget the years that I spent as a student and the struggles that I had and how I would have loved to hear a voice on the other end empathize and kind of encourage me and push me along to say, hey, you can do this or you got this today, you rock. And
Yeah.
I love that about the app.
Yeah. I think it'd be nice for the faculty to hear that sometimes too, because sometimes the faculty need to hear, hey, you did a great job giving feedback today. So hopefully there's like a balance there, or maybe there'll be a, a part two.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. There are faculty we get so, how do you say, like busy mentoring in the trenches of mentoring and sharing and grading and observing and evaluating that we also do need those moments of I don't know if I want to refer to it as calibration, but those moments of reward and feeling like what I did or contributed for that day was valuable and appreciated. So, and you have those moments here and there, Z, but I think sort of like a continuous, not always a slap on the wrist, but more like a building up. And I think
Yeah.
those are the components that collectively will be seen in how well our students do.
Yeah.
Because even though it's just faculty, program director, we really are a community and we are in every single semester building something together. No one semester looks the same. It really doesn't. And
No.
I think as we try to tighten, strengthen our community, our students are going to do much better, not just in academia, but in as they graduate and go into the industry.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I will tell you the motivation when you were talking about closing those little rings on your iWatch, it's the same as when I get a thank you note from a student, because you're
Mm.
in the trenches constantly mentoring, tutoring, and supporting them. And I love, love, love doing that. But when you get that one thank you card that says how much you meant, like your time was valuable to that student, it's just like, oh. It's it's it
That
gives you
is,
all the fuel.
it does. It's like, this is why I do it. This is,
Yes.
one of our colleagues say, this is my why. This is definitely our why.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like, when it's attached to you, it's just attached to you. You cannot detach it. It's just a part of who you are, and it
Yes.
just becomes what you do. And
Yes.
it's just purposeful. You really have found your purpose and found your why. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I'm excited that you've come up with this book for students. I just feel like if students are given the right tools to do the job is easier. Just like building a house, just like any project that we do, when we have the right tools, it just seems like it goes a lot smoother, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think, if we were talking about, there was one thing that I could give and how challenging it was for me to think about just that one thing. But if I had to really capture it all in one word, I would think it would be preparation.
Mm,
And I think while the title does speak to a lot of things, it encompasses preparation.
yeah.
And if you're prepared for the journey, you're going to go through much seamlessly than not, and more likely to be successful in that journey than not. So really giving you a blueprint. Hey, listen, funding may be an issue. These are some of the things you're going to have to look forward to. Did you know that you're going to have to buy $1,200 loops?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Right?
know.
In your
I
first, some of those are mandatory. Did you know that, your work hours are going to have to be cut back? Did you know
yeah.
that your Monday through Friday, is going to seem like a work week for you, and maybe you're going to have to shift your work on the evening schedules? Did you know these things? There's a chapter in the book where I really do define and outline the day in the life of. I describe it from T, like this is what your day is going to be like, and that's just a small picture of it. I mean, depending on what type of clinic you are, it could be a lot more demanding or a lot less demanding, depending on the clinic. But and that's just clinical work. We're not even talking about other industry ideas and concepts
Yeah.
that can be explored given a dental hygiene degree. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really, it's really whatever you can think of, you can do once you've graduated and you have this skill because it gives you a nice foundation to build on, which is awesome. So,
It really does.
well, as we kind of wind down, I want to ask you, if if you could just give one message of encouragement, which I know your book has probably tons of in it, for the students as they're listening, and depending on where they are in their journey, just one little nugget of advice and encouragement to our listeners, what would it be?
Sure. I think if I really wanted to speak to our graduates, sooner graduate in the middle of your journey, your academic journey, or just coming in, or maybe even considering it, stay the course.
Mm,
And whatever you do, stay the course. Your drive and your consistency in it all is going to help you to be successful. Even if you had to take a step back, I've had students who were, pregnant and had to come out for a semester or a year and then go back in. But they stayed the course and
mm,
eventually graduated. You can too. Don't think that anything is too difficult or too challenging. If you have a very supportive program, there's so many mentoring opportunities and supportive relationships outside of the program that you're in that are there to help you, there to guide you. All you have to do is stay the course. It's not going to be easy, but one step at a time. I think I used to share this with my students. Sometimes when I'm running uphill, if I'm looking up the hill to where I have to go, it's so challenging. I could feel my body like instantly start to want to shut down, like, my legs start to get tired, my muscles start to hurt, right? But when I place my cap on and I hold my head down and I'm just looking just a few steps in front of me, before I know it, I'm at the top of the hill. So I stayed the course without having to look too far where I want to go. Each step you take is a step further to that goal, and you can do it. And I'm here to help.
I love that. That's my one of my quotes, little by little, a little becomes a lot. And sometimes you really just have to focus on the little.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So I will definitely put all of your contact information in the show notes for our students. Do you have a contact that you prefer and you'd like to share?
Sure. Students can reach out to me by my email, Jefferies at TDJ, T as in Tom, Tanya, D as in David, J as in Jack, consultinggroup.com. And that's a very easy way. I respond and look at my emails consistently, or they can always DM me or message me either through LinkedIn under Dr. Jefferies, Dr. Tonya Jefferies, or can reach me on Facebook, Dental Hygiene Hack, or Dr. Tonya Jefferies, and then Instagram, Dental Hygiene Hack. So either one of those, you can message me, private message me, however you want. I'm on all social media platforms and I will respond, and I look forward to it.
Oh, wow, you're everywhere.
I am everywhere. I am. It's funny because, I had to get used to that part about doing what I do at this point, and thankfully, I have kids who, you know,
They're
guide me
helping.
in that sense.
Well, Dr. Jeffries, it's been so nice having this conversation with you. I really, truly appreciate all the things that you're doing to really help students on their learning journey. To the students out there, it's always great to be with you. I enjoy your time. I hope everything's going well for you. And until we talk next time, I'll see you soon. And thanks for spending this time with me today. I hope you're walking away with something that makes your journey in dental hygiene school feel a little lighter and a lot more possible. If this episode supported you, please share it with a classmate who might need that reminder too. And if you want more tools, notes, and encouragement, you can always find them linked in the show description. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, one step, one skill, one breath at a time. Have a great week.